Hey everyone, it's time for more WordPress theme tutorial, and today in this video I'm actually going to be doing something a little different than what I said in the last video. Instead of showing you how to style the comment list that WordPress gives you, I'm going to show you how to make your own comment list using your own formatting, and I think then I'll style it afterwards. So if you notice here, the WP list comments function, which I left empty in the last video, I've actually filled up. Now this takes technically one argument, but it takes it in the form of a query, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but the argument where you can pass multiple variables in and each variable has a value. The variable name is printed, equals, and then the value you want to pass through, and separates the different variables. Hopefully that makes sense. Now there's two variables I'm passing through here. I'm passing through type equals comments, and that's just so you can separate the trackbacks, pingbacks, and whatever else WordPress gives you. You can also enter those in as the type, but I'm not going to do that right now. And callback equals tutorial comment list. That's a custom function which I defined in a file that we actually haven't talked about yet. It's called functions.php. Now, I've created that file and I've put in some code that we're going to use that I'm going to explain to you, but you haven't made it yet, so I recommend it. And really there's no special notation to it. It is just a regular PHP file with a function in it. We're actually going to be adding more to this when we do our sidebar, but for now we're just going to leave it with this one function for comments. Now I've fixed the styling in between videos. I've copied the CSS over from my testing area, and right here you can see I've sort of made the sidebar bigger. A few things may have changed because Daxter's actually changed his site since I started making this tutorial, so the CSS I had was sort of outdated, but I'm going with it anyway just because it's what I have. Now let's see. Let's start by going through this file. When it calls this function, which I've called tutorial comment list, you can call it anything you want. When it calls this function, it gives the function three arguments, and that's the comment, which is actually an array, I believe, arguments, which is also an array, and depth, which is just a number. Now, this first, if you delete any of those up here, then the function just won't work. So I would certainly recommend keeping those. The first thing we want to do is set globals comment to equal to the comment that's passed through here. That's mainly so that all the other functions that we specify in here can access the comment that we're working with. I'm surprised WordPress doesn't do that on its own, but just leave that line in there. Now for each comment, we're going to be working with an LI, a list item, because WordPress by default puts them in an unordered list, and of course you can change that here, but I'm not going to. I think comments work well enough as an unordered list, and some of these are self-explanatory. Comment class, something to note there, that also echoes out the class equals values, so you don't need to echo that. However, the ID, you have to do li comment and the comment ID. Now, oh wait a second. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to time this recording, so I have no idea how long I've been going for. Now, we have a div here that says div ID comment and then the comment ID. A lot of these things are just depends on what you want to have in your theme. That's all I can say about it. It's basically look up these functions in the codex and you can see what you want to come out. Get avatar passes the comment information, and the second argument is the size of the avatar that you want in pixels. Comment author link, that gives you the name of the author and a link to their webpage if they gave one. If not, it just leaves it at blank. Leave this in here just to let them know if a comment is awaiting moderation. Let's see. ahref this is the permalink to the comment, which is often given in the date, which is right there. So you can click on that and it'll go to that comment. Let's see, comment date at comment time, that's simple enough, it just gives the date and the time. Let's see, edit comment link, that is sort of like the edit function for posts, where the first argument is what you want to say, Second is what you want to come before, and third is what you want to come after. And of course, it's only visible to admins, or I'm not sure how it works for users. But now this last thing, comment reply link. This is sort of complicated. It has an array it takes arguments as an array, which is another thing we haven't seen before. It takes them as an array, and actually the array we pass through is a merged array between args, which it gives us up here, and a few new values, which is the depth. We pass through the depth, max depth, which we pass through there, and login text is login to reply. That's what shows up if we don't, if the person's not logged in. Something to note here, though, is, well, you want to take a look at the codex for these values, too, because they vary. And then, of course, PHP comment text is, again, self-explanatory, with an end div. Now, you may notice that we never ended the li that's up here. WordPress will do that once it's finished listing all of the different lists within the li tag, because you have very nested lists in here. Okay, so with that out of the way, and about half a video remaining, I'm sorry I don't have my stopwatch going like I usually do, we're going to talk about how to style this list. Now, if you look at the source code, actually let me show you what the source code looks like.